Hello and welcome my friend. In this series, I will be playing Riven, but I will not only show the gameplay, I will also be narrating the train of thought the developers intended, as we play through. I will also be including a note window that I will pop up whenever needed. Hopefully, this will help new players, and old players, to understand how the game was intended to be played, and the reasoning, rationale, and logic we are supposed to use, as we explore Riven. Let's get started.
Thank God you've returned. I need your help. There's a great deal of history that you should know, but I'm afraid that I must continue my writing. Here. Most of what you'll need to know is in there. Keep it well hidden. For all reasons you'll discover, I can't send you to Riven with a way out. But I can give you this. It appears to be a linking book, back here to Dunny. But it's actually a one-man prison. You'll need it, I'm afraid, to capture Gan. Once you've found Catherine, signal me, and I'll come with a linking book to bring us back. There's also a chance, if this all goes well, that I might be able to get you back to the place that you came from.
Players who completed the first game, Mist, will recognize the scene we just watched, as it is the same as the ending of that game. We are supposed to gather that we've returned and Atris needs our help. Catherine, Atris's wife, is in Riven and we need to meet up with her. Atris gives us his journal, and a book that is a one-man prison, but looks like a normal linking book to Dani. We need it to capture Gen, someone we don't know yet. And he says he might be able to send us home, finally. We're not sure what just happened, but that native man took the book that Atris gave us. In front of us, we see a big metal object. We need to inspect it. We see a glass peephole. It's some kind of microscope. There's a hatch that has 5 buttons on it. And there's a valve on the right side, with a button at the end of it. Nothing happens. We see that there's a pipe on the right side. Maybe this provides power to it. We'll come back. This room looks like some kind of museum. And there's a strange symbol on the floor. The Beatles tell stories through pictures. This gate has no button or lever on it. It probably opens somewhere else. This button rotates the room, but the room itself only has 2 openings. We will assume that there must be 5 entrances elsewhere, as the angle of the opening, the pillars, and the shape of the inside of the room suggest 5 sides. We found one of the 5 openings, which has another locked gate. That's 3 openings out of the 5. Rotating the room will eventually show us the rest of the openings, though, because the openings are offset. We might have to come in from a different room to access the other openings. This gate is locked, but it's crude. We may need a key to open it. What's that little knife on the ground? It looks like we might be able to squeeze through the bottom of the gate. It's the 4th entrance to the rotating room, but there's no button to rotate it here. We may need to go back and rotate the room at the main entrances button, and come back here when an open doorway matches this cave. We found the fifth opening. This pipe sounds like it provides steam power. The picture looks like the telescope. Perhaps it provides power to it. Let's turn it on. We found another rotating room button. Now, we should be able to access the other openings from here, as well. This lever looks like it opens something. Maybe this is what opens the gates. Let's rotate the room and see if we can open a gate with it. Another locked gate. We need to find the lever that opens it. Another rotating room button. We should be able to access every opening now. And another lever, which most likely opens the other gate that we saw. Let's open it and rotate the room. The original gate that was closed should have opened now. Let's see what it leads to. Not sure what these shapes mean. Let's draw these shapes or take a screenshot and put them in our notebook. We can see 2 more islands. And the closest one leads to this one through this long walkway. They all seem to be linked with some kind of train or tram travel system. Let's keep this in mind. This steam pipe looks like it powers the walkway. Let's turn it on. The walkway looks like it collapses down to access the building, but we'll have to come from the island connected to it. What is that rotating dome? Looks like a platform, maybe an elevator. But there's a missing button. Another steam pipe that powers the walkway that brought us into the building. It looks like it erects into stairs. We were right, but now we can't get to the bottom of the stairs. We'll have to bring him down, and figure out how to leave them erect but enter the rotating room from another side. This walkway has a turning valve that looks like it might extend the walkway. Perhaps that leads to the doorway of the gate that we could not open before. We'll have to find the island that has the long walkway leading to the back part of the building that we saw earlier. Let's continue exploring. This is a strange room. Let's see what this lever does. It opened a door in that room. I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like a stepping platform. Let's see what this chair does. It doesn't do anything that we can see from here. Let's keep exploring. This looks like the room from the viewer. And again, we see the symbol. These look like big fish, or whales. Let's keep exploring. It's a cable tram. This is what we need to travel to the other islands. Let's ride it. There's a conspicuous dark protruding ball on that wall. This symbol looks like the one I've seen before several times now. Let's keep track of them on our notebook. That noise sounds like an animal. Let's make a note of what we think it sounds like. To me, it sounds like a bird of some sort. What are these animals? Another ball in the wall. This is the same symbol we've seen before. The sound it makes sounds like a large animal, like a whale. Perhaps the whales that we saw in the room with the columns and the large door. The shape of the rocks even look like the whale. Let's associate this symbol with this whale for now, and let's save the image. It might be the shape of the whole animal. Let's keep exploring. Perhaps we'll find more spheres. So, we'll have to pay attention to the animals on the islands. Oh no. Someone sounded an alarm from that guard tower because they saw me. Do we need to be cautious? Wow, it's a lake. But it looks like there are pockets of air in the water. There also seems to be docks around the perimeter. Perhaps we'll have to take a boat to them. Those look like bulbous houses. Is that where the people live? That looks like a sphere train of some sort. How do we get to the other side? Another sphere, with another symbol. Let's put this in our notebook. The sound is like a vibration, like a hornet or a flying insect. What's this valve do? The water makes a very specific shape. Let's save this image in our notebook and associate it with the symbol and the sound. It's one of the platforms to access the boat. But the ladder leads underwater, now that I see it up close. Perhaps it's for a submarine. Maybe that bulbous train is a submarine. But why is it all the way up there? And how do I get it down here? That looks to be a building. There's another platform for access on it. How do I reach these boardwalks? It seems we can't do anything from here. Let's backtrack and see if we can find a way up to the submarine. It's a beetle. That's the same sound as the sphere. That must be the beetle associated with the sound and the sphere. Why were they cutting the trees down? That's the island where we first arrived, and we can see the long walkway leading to the back of the building. This seems to be a train cart. We're not ready to leave this place yet. Let's keep exploring. Why is there an enormous knife there? Let's see what's on it. It's another sphere embedded on the wall. Let's take a screenshot of the symbol. Hey, it's the same sound as those sea lion kind of creatures we spooked away on those rocks. There's another rotating dome up there. Wonder how you get up there. There's catwalks that probably lead to the rotating dome. This looks like some kind of worshipping ground, and that looks like the whale animal because of the horns on its head. The top of these lights look like buttons. Let's check if they are. We were right. It's a button to call the tram. But where is the tram? This lever looks like it goes up. It also looks like it goes down, now that we moved it. We've reached the catwalks. Let's see if we can get closer to the rotating dome. There's another catwalk. What's over there? It's some kind of viewer pointing directly at the dome. One of the shapes turns gold. Maybe if we click on it, something will happen. This button on the top clicks. Let's keep track of the shape that turned gold. It looks like there's a book inside. We'll need to find the right combination for these sliders. We're at the top of the lake. What does this lever do? It seemed to close the hole in that platform. Let's go back to the elevator where the lever could be pushed down. We reached the tram, but I'm not ready to leave this place yet. Let's go back where the trees were being cut down, and take the left path that we didn't take before. Yes, that was terrifying. This gate leads back to the jungle. Not sure what this cave painting means, but there's a 5-pointed star above the figure. More people running away from me. I wonder why they're afraid. We reached the boardwalk. I hope I can reach the submarine now. Another submarine platform. That makes 5 platforms by my count. Nothing works. It probably needs to be underwater to work. Maybe that lever outside brings it down. Is this a sacrificial altar? Is this just an oven to cook food? Are these the local fish that the people eat? The submarine is down. We'll have to go all the way around to reach it. The sea lions are back. Okay, let's figure out what all these levels and sliders do. The slider doesn't do anything here. The dome lever rotates the submarine. The right lever makes it go forward. Let's see if we can go to every one of the 5 platforms we saw. The tracks split. I think the slider lets you choose which path to take, left or right. Okay, we're here, but we can't reach the ladder. Maybe the extends somehow. Let's keep exploring. Wonder what these switches do. I can see everything on the lake from here. Let's pay attention to the tracks. While we're here, as we can see how they're shaped. I see 4 of the 5 platforms, but only the starting point is extended. Let's flip a switch and see what changes. It extended one of the platforms. Let's switch them all up. We've extended all the platforms. Let's see what each platform leads to. This appears to be some kind of schoolhouse for children.
Terekoi danni, ki bayem revat, arroyem betik tavom, gabodona gayem.
Is this Gen?
Ram.
This is Dani alphabet. We could probably learn how to read it now. I wonder if we'll need to do that. This has the symbol we've seen before, with the beetle. I believe these symbols represent numbers. The little person clicks a specific number of times depending on the symbol. Let's figure all of them out. If we spend enough time here, we can find at least the first 10 numbers from these symbols. I will skip ahead and show you on my notepad every one. The pattern is as follows. The number 1 is a vertical line. The number 2 is bowed vertical line, on the left of the box. The number 3 is 2 lines extending from the top of the box to the left side and then back down to the bottom of the box. The number 4 is a vertical line reaching from the bottom, almost all the way up, but turning at a 90-degree angle to the right side of the box. The number 5 is a horizontal line. The number 6 is a combination of the number 1 box and the number 5 box. The number 7 is a combination of the number 5 box and the number 2 box, and so on. The number 10 box is the number 2 box, rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. So, I assume this will be the case every 5 numbers. For now, 1 through 10 will suffice. We've been to all platforms except for the big wooden structure where we closed the hole. Let's make our way there. Why is the symbol for the number 5 all over this world? Who is this and why is he being held prisoner? He's gone. How? Where? Now we can come up here from the boardwalk. Could he have escaped through this hole? It looks too small. We can't see anything. Let's just keep walking forward until we're able to see something. Light bulbs. A dead end. Where could he have gone? Does this door open to the left as well? This room has pictures of all the creatures of this world. So we can activate 5. In our notes we have numbers corresponding to 4 of them. We're missing one animal. So far, we have the beetle as number 2, the bird as number 3, the sea lion as number 4, and the whale as number 5. We need to look for number 1. Let's continue exploring the rest of the islands and see if we can get some answers. So we have a choice. We can take the cable tram we found underground, or we can take the cart. Let's see where the cart takes us. It doesn't do anything. Maybe it needs power. It's a wood chipper. That's why they were cutting the trees down, to bring them here in the cart. But for what purpose? This looks like it diverts power to 3 different places. Let's see what happens if we divert it to the chipper. just turns on the wood chipper. The second position gives power to this big building. But what is it? It looks like it's a big boiler room. The hatch is closed. We need to find a different way of going up there. I wonder if we can travel through this huge pipe. We'd have to turn off the whole boiler building. This valve turned the heat off. We need to get rid of the water. This doesn't work. I think it needs power. There's a light on the pipe. We need to divert power to it. This lever raised a platform. I'm guessing the wheel gets rid of the water. Let's see if we can go into the big pipe now. We can't see anything. Let's keep moving forward again, until we reach light. It seems we won't be able to come back in from here. Let's open this hatch. It looks like a trap to catch an animal. Are these pebbles to lure something in it? There's a pipe leading to it. Maybe this is the third place where the power is diverted. Let's go switch the power. We should put a pebble in it if we expect to catch anything. This pipe looks very large. Maybe we can squeeze through it, if we can get the fan to stop. Maybe we need to come back later to check on the trap. I can't find anywhere else to go. There's a walkway there. How do we get there? Maybe there's a door or a hallway we missed inside. Wait, this entryway looks like it might lead to a hallway. What if we close the doors? We were right. Let's see what's on the left side first. It's another rotating dome. Where is the viewer for it? How do we get to the viewer? Oh, we just learned that we should close doors behind us to find passages. Maybe. Let's keep track of the symbol on our notebook. But let's also keep track of where we're finding these domes. This one is on this big, ring-shaped island where they process the lumber. The last one we found was in the jungle. This must divert power to the cave we were just in. Let's turn it off and find out. It's locked. Maybe the fan's duct can get us in there. We were right. Let's check on the trap and see if we caught anything. Oh wow. It's a little frog. That's the same sound from the very first sphere we found. We were totally wrong. That sound was not a bird at all. Okay. Let's write it down on our notebook. Let's check out where the duct leads to. For the sake of time management for this video, I will point out to you the key points in this journal, and write them in our notebook. While this journal gives a lot of backstory for the whole game, and you should definitely read it slowly and carefully if you wish to learn what this game's story is about. This video would run too long if we narrated all journals. So I will point out to you the key points related to puzzles found in this journal. This is Gen's journal and we're in his laboratory where he works on writing his books. We learn that this world is called the Fifth Age, and that's why there's the symbol for 5 all over. First, Gen talks about how catastrophic it would be open the fissure, which is sitting below the microscope or telescope we first encountered when we first arrived. Second, he tells us that the eye symbols, the ones we've been finding on the rotating domes, represent colors. So, we'll have to find out which color represents which symbol. Third, we read about some fire marbles that generate power, which we do not know enough about yet. Fourth, we find out that Gen managed to link to a new world, which he calls the 233rd Age. He is there now, and he's using it as an office and living quarters. Fifth, he mentions that the rotating domes we've found are sites to link to his 223rd Age, that he commanded the people to build for him. Sixth, he calls the large golden dome the central power source. So, that may be what powers the rotating domes. Seventh, he says that he installed coded access system to the domes, the sliders, because of continued disturbances. This code is different in every playthrough, so make sure you figure out the numbers yourself, and write them down. For this playthrough, my code is 4, 13, 14, 20, and 23. This is the sphere we've been missing. It's the number 1 ball. In this paper, Gen mentions that he has found these spheres floating on water. And I did see a floating sphere earlier at the lake. We'll have to find out which animal it's associated with. In the meantime, let's save a screenshot of it. It's a tram call button. Where is the tram, though? It's a burned book, like we learned about in Gen's journal. Here's the tram, but it leads to the next island. Let's check out the long walkway first before we travel to the new island. It's the walkway that we needed to extend earlier. Let's erect the stairs. There's a platform missing. Oh, there's a button. This is the last gate that needed to be opened. I wonder if we can open this opening and the one leading to the stairs. We can't go to the stairs from here, but we can rotate the room so that we exit through the main entrance, and rotate the room to access the stairs from there. Okay, I believe these are the fire marbles we read about in the journal. And they go into this grid system. But where exactly? There's way too many holes to just guess. We'll have to find out precisely where the marbles belong. Let's come back when we've learned that. For now, let's ride that tram back in Gen's laboratory. There's a door on the other side. Could I just rotate the tram and exit it? Let's try it. Who was that? That was odd. Who is that woman? Is that Catherine? Is this a camera in her room? Oh, this is at the lake in Jungle Island. This shape looks just like those fish we found. And that floating sphere is the one that Gen was talking about in his journal. Is this the animal associated with the number 1 sphere? Let's write it down in our notebook. Hey, it's the eye color symbols. A blue light. I think these are the colors they represent. Let's write down in our notebooks. Wow. That is the famous whale we've been seeing this whole time. At the fire marble grid, we had a marble for each color. This last bulb is broken, but I'm going to assume this last symbol is the purple color, since the rest are accounted for. Now that we know each of these symbols is a color, let's associate the color to each island. I think that's how we're going to identify the fire marbles. What are these spikes? These blocks look familiar. Let's check our notes. They're the same shapes that were in the central power dome building, and we saw them in Gen's journal. I think they represent the different islands of this world. We've visited 4. The Big Dome Island, the Jungle Island, the Ring Crater Island, and this one. It created some kind of bubble made of water. I can't tell the shape of it from here very well. Let's keep exploring. Hey, another rotating dome. Let's find the viewer for it. The viewer is broken. We're just going to have to keep clicking to stop the dome, but we won't be able to see the eye color shape. Perhaps if we get closer to the dome, we might be able to catch the shape as the dome is rotating. Let's try that. Okay, that looks like a flat line. The eye color shape with the flat line is the orange color. Let's see if we can catch a screenshot of it, and we're going to associate this dome with the orange color for now. We'll call this Spike Island from all those spikes we saw when we came in. This L shape is the same shape as the button we pushed at the balcony. The shape is divided into 4 blocks. This looks like the terrain of the island that we're on right now. So, I believe that these shapes represent the different islands in this world. This machine shows us the different islands, split up into several blocks. Each block is divided into a 5 by 5 grid. This round object looks like the rotating dome. I think this machine shows us the locations of the rotating domes in each island. I think that's where the fire marbles will be positioned in the big grid. So, we'll have to draw the shape and divide it into a grid, like so. This way we can keep track of where each rotating dome is, because that's where the fire marble will be on the big grid, back at the central dome. We think the color for this island's dome is orange, but since we're not certain because the viewer was broken, we'll use a black dot for now. Let's just remember to change it to orange once we're at the marble fire grid. We'll do this shape next. Let's also save this image, as this is most likely the same position on the marble grid. This is the crater island with the wood chipper and the boiler. The dome was underground, so I suppose why there's a hole, instead of a protruding dome on this map. Location is top left square of the shape. Second column, second row. The marble will be purple. We'll do this big shape next. This is Jungle Island. This is where the lake is. Here is the dome. It's on this square on the shape. And the dome is on the fourth column, second row from the top. The marble will be red. We'll do this shape next. It should be the big dome, central power island. We have not opened the dome, so we don't know which color is associated with it. We'll go back there once we're finished here. The dome is on the first column, first row from the top. Let's put the marble on the grid, but we'll annotate the color of the shape once we've seen it on the viewer. let's go back and check on the last island, which is the one we have not been to yet. Okay, here's the dome on the grid of the small island. And we'll find the color out once we've visited the island. For now, let's go to the central power big dome building, and open the rotating dome to find out its color symbol. The dome is on the second column, first row from the top. There's a button now. Okay, let's write down the color in our notebook and change the color of the marble on our grid. It is the green marble. So, we're missing 2 colors of marbles. We could guess, but there's one thing we have not done yet. We have not gone back to the puzzle with the animals. We now know all the animals, and their corresponding numbers, which I'm assuming are the order in which you touch the stones. Let's head there and see if we can find answers about the last two marbles. Okay, checking our notes. We're going to go with the fish first, beetle second, frog third, sea lion fourth, and warg fifth and last.
now da saya palo. Yapa ay manay yelepo. Mio tisay. Bekaretere wirape yelo kene falapo. Tisay. Why te fulupe? Sira po. Ibuko mo buko wisipo. Na vene. Tapo mo revene beno. Now, Katerina ne. Wisifa polo ya sepe yai.
Once again, for the sake of this video's length, I won't go over the entire journal. And I will point out the important points that you will find here. First, Catherine tells us that when we find her, there will be a combination to release her from her prison and that Gen keeps this in his office. Second, she tells us not to signal Atris before you release her. Third, she gives us the code to the telescope, which again, is different every time. For this playthrough, it is 3, 4, 3, 3, 2. And fourth, she tells us there's a mechanical stop at the bottom of the telescope, to prevent it from hitting the portal window. Unfortunately, we didn't get more answers about the fire marbles. So, we'll have to guess for the last one. Let's head over there now. Okay, let's take care of the marbles that we are certain where they belong. The purple one goes here. The red one goes here. And the green one goes here. For Spike Island, the bottom left position, we're going to try orange first. And let's guess that the yellow one goes on the top. No, that didn't work. Let's try the blue one on top. Okay, that worked. Let's try to use the book inside the dome just outside. For the slider code, we have the numbers, but how do we set them? There are 25 ticks. I think each slider corresponds to a tick. Let's move the first slider to the 23rd tick, the next one to the 20th, the next one to the 14th, the next one to the 13th, and the last slider to the 4th. It worked. All the books to the islands are here, but we can't use them. This button is the only thing we can interact with. Let's see what it does.
I apologize for the cage. I'm afraid this situation has often required of me a more primitive code of conduct than I might otherwise have chosen. I am Gen. I assume you've heard of me. Yes. Well, I suspect you have acquired some false information of who I am now. Not that my son would have lied to you about me. No, not Atris. It's just that, well, I'm sure he believes me to still be the depraved father I once was. Yes. I even tried to kill him once. God, if I had accomplished that, who knows what I would have become. A great father indeed, who tries to murder his own son. Thankfully, he trapped me on age 5, a prison of my own creation. No books, no precious inks, no ages to link to, nothing but my own foolish ambitions. That was 30 years ago. 30 years, 30 lifetimes, what does it matter? No sentence could be too harsh for the man I was. But I have changed. To be sure, the deeds of my past can never be completely atoned for, but my mission was an honorable one. I'm sorry, this is all a bit awkward. It's been a long time since I've attempted to persuade anyone of my intentions. Most of the people here have already made their minds up about me one way or another. I myself do not trust the words of most men, so I don't expect you to believe me. In the end, though, you may discover that I do have more than mere words to offer. Atris's choice of punishment has been hard on the people of Riven, and many have suffered because of it. The island has been steadily decaying for years, but according to my most recent measurements, it appears that the Fifth Age has entered its final days. Unless the villagers can be relocated soon, the island will collapse entirely and everyone will perish. It has taken me a long time to do it, but it appears that finally I'll be able to make some substantial amends to my past transgressions, especially in, well, I'm afraid I've had some trouble with Catherine and the moiety. In any society, there will always be a small percentage of the population with rebellious tendencies. Before Catherine appeared, the moiety, as they call themselves, had been relatively harmless. I mean, the natives here are a fairly violent people by nature, but I'd almost come to accept their presence. It seemed inevitable under the circumstances. Upon Catherine's return, however, their violence intensified considerably. It seems she's become some sort of religious savior to them. And as far as I can tell, she's come to believe this herself. So I've had no alternative. I had to separate her from her people. I must admit, though, that my concerns were not entirely for her safety alone. The actions of Catherine and the moiety have put my own life at risk on numerous occasions. Consequently, the lives of all the people here. Therefore, I must ask you to refrain from any attempt to free her. Although I'm sure Atris desires it. Indeed, he must desire it with all his heart. But he is completely unaware of her recent state. Which brings me to the point of all of this. The linking book you brought with you. You're very fortunate to have recovered it. If I may. Thank you.
He took the prison book. Let's hope he uses it and it imprisons him. For those of you who've played Myst before, you know what we can do with the prison book. For those of you who have not, we'll just have to take a chance and hope for the best.
Perhaps it would be best if you went through first. You may need some time to decide. That is reasonable. Until then, as a token of my good intentions, I will allow you free access to my linking books, crude though they may be, and to the rest of the Fifth Age. Please understand, there is nothing I want more than a chance to resolve matters between Atris and myself, especially in light of what has become of Catherine. But unless you are willing to demonstrate to me that your intentions are honorable, I cannot risk it. The sanctuary I've been writing for the islanders is nearly complete. After all these years, it would be a shame if I were unable to finish it. The work I am doing is quite demanding. Please don't signal me unless you've decided to use the book. The switch will reset itself once you link from here.
We can't explore this building. I suppose the only two options are to call him through the button again, or travel to one of the islands. Oh wait, he also left us the linking book to the last island, where Catherine is imprisoned. Let's go and see her before we do anything else. Is this the way to enter the code to free her?
Yafe adik. You made it. But how'd you get past Ken? He must really believe I've gone mad. I know what he's doing. He's watching you. He's waiting for you to make a mistake. He's hoping you'll lead him back to Dunny. You can't let Gen... Atris sent you to save me. But if Gen gets back to Dunny, he'll kill him. I think I know how to signal Atris, but it's going to take both of us. You'll have to trap Gen before you can get the combination. Be careful. Go then. If you won't help me, then I have nothing more to say.
So, we need to find the combination first, before we can come back and talk to her again. She said she knows how to signal him. There's nothing we can do here until we do that. Let's go back to Gen's 233rd age. Maybe we can open the cage and explore the building now. There's nothing we can do except call Gen and use the prison book. Let's do that now.
I'm relieved you've returned. I thought perhaps you had decided against it. Here, I shall follow you directly.
It worked. He followed us, and he imprisoned himself and released us. We can explore his building now. Let's see what's around here.
Kiana Natsu? Shima? Shorate. Mataneta. Tagamem. San Botegan Shem. Fasi.
There's nothing here about the code to free Catherine. These sounds are the same from that apparatus. I think this is the code. Let's write it down. Again, quick note. This code is different in every playthrough. For me, it, S-clasp, ping, clasp, clasp, clasp.
We have to move quickly. Gen's people may already know what's happening. Once we're back with the moiety, we'll have time to regroup. Can I see the book? You did it. We're all free. You captured Gen. But there's still his followers. I'm not sure what I'll do once I realize he's gone. I'll have to get the villagers to safety as soon as possible. You go back to the Temple Island and reopen the fissure. I know it's risky, but it's the only way to signal Atris. I'll try to make it back there as soon as I can, but don't wait for me. Don't forget, the portal combination's in my journal. Good luck.
So, the way to signal Atris is to open the fissure. As we learned earlier, that will be catastrophic and will probably destroy the world. But that's what she told us to do. We'll use the code that we found in her journal. Let's head to the telescope now. Let's use the code and see what happens. Nothing happened. Maybe it's not how many times you push the buttons. Maybe it's to push each of these buttons in this sequence. It's a window. I can see stars. What does the lever and button do? It lowers it closer to see the stars better. It doesn't go any lower. I suppose that's what the stop is for. I assume we need to release it. I suppose when Catherine said, "Open the fissure," she meant break through this window with the telescope. Let's do that and see what happens.
There isn't much time. Where's Catherine? Where's the book?
Atris!
I don't...
The villagers are safely in the Rebel Age. I thank you.
As do I. You've accomplished more than I could have hoped for. You've given me back my life. The path home is now clear for all of us. This is where our paths must part. Perhaps we'll meet again someday. You know where to find me. Goodbye, my friend. Now I understand. Endings and beginnings are within the fissure, that riven cleft of stars that acts as both a wall and a bridge. And though I am unable to understand how, the very flow of stars that brought my mist book into worthy hands, I am sure served as a safe passage home for my friend. The age of Riven is closed forever, but the people of Riven are free. And now I am at rest, understanding that in books and ages and life, the ending can never truly be written.
This is the main, true ending of the game. However, there are alternate endings that you can get, depending on what you do, don't do, and when. For example, if you trap Gen in the prison book, but you go back in the book after him. Or if you signal Atris without trapping Gen, or without freeing Catherine. I thank you for watching this walkthrough. This is my favorite game of all time, and I hope this video made the experience more enjoyable for you, whether this was your first time playing Riven, or your long-time Myst fan. I'll see you in a different age. Farewell.